hey, I just want a dad for my kids. I don't want my kids to grow up without a dad. Their dad is not around. So I'm going to find a guy who will marry me to be a dad. People can take remarriage like they're just trying a new thing.
Yeah.
They're just trying, let me just try something else.
Yeah, I want to do something different than what I did before. So now, I've always had this bucket list of things I wanted to do or people I wanted to get with or have. So I might marry this type of person this time.
Okay, topic number 1 is remarrying for the wrong reason.
So some common motivations of doing that are the fear of being alone, financial security, or pressure to have a family.
We've met people that say, hey, at this point in my life, I'm not married, I don't have any kids. And so they kind of look for someone who is willing to do that, but not necessarily looking for like the character, the qualities that you may want in a spouse. It was just like, hey, who wants to, have a family right now? Let's do this.
Yeah. I think that I've heard of all of these happening to someone. The fear of being alone. We definitely have heard of that.
Yeah. A lot of people jump into remarriage too soon.
They do. They jump into it thinking that it's going to solve all of their problems. And it usually doesn't solve all of your problems. And it's like a Band-Aid at first, until it's ripped open because you really worked on anything.
Yeah, you haven't healed. You haven't had time to kind of like reassess. So you just fall in love, kind of. And,
is it love though?
Well, you fall in something because you get married and the person wants to marry you. And then you are.
But the person can love you. You may not be in love with that person because you have your motivations. But, that other individual is thinking that you actually love them.
And, this is really good because sometimes people think that remarriage is just automatic. I get remarried and I'm married now.
Yeah.
And so, there's nothing else I need to do.
Well, most people don't realize, and I didn't know that you have to do things to have a successful remarriage.
Right.
I thought you just get married.
A lot of people do think that, but we want to talk about today, and it can be kind of sensitive and sometimes you might be embarrassed, but this is why we're here. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah. So we basically have a definition of marrying for the wrong reason. And it happens when a person enters into a new marriage primarily to fill a void. You want to escape loneliness or seek validation rather than a genuine desire for a partnership and shared growth. Marrying for the wrong reason, it does cause problems whenever you don't know really why you love this person or why you really want to marry this person. If you're marrying them because of what they have or what they do, those are just the byproducts of who that person is. But most people want to be remarried because of who they are.
So when you marry for the wrong reason, it can mean you entered into a new marriage primarily just to fill a void.
Yeah.
Or fill something that you needed, but really not wanting to marry that person.
Or you may want to seek validation. You're trying to validate in some way that's not really going with who that person is in that marriage.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I want to be a married person. I want people to treat me like that, so I'm going to get married.
Yeah, because you were a married person, you got a divorce, and you love being a married person, but you don't necessarily love that person you are marrying.
Yeah, and people that we've talked to, and even Larry and Sherry, they've experienced marrying for the wrong reason, and sometimes it could be, hey, I just want a dad for my kids. I don't want my kids to grow up without a dad. Their dad is not around. So I'm going to find a guy who will marry me to be a dad.
And that's an interesting thing that you said that, because there's a lot of men who feel like someone married them to fill that void. In fact, I know we have a friend who told us that he feels like
a filler.
Yeah, a filler. Yeah. You're a filler dad.
Why do you think he married her? Because it was two ways.
Well, you can actually marry somebody out of genuine love, but that person doesn't reciprocate that love towards you.
Or they fake it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
They're like, yeah, I love you, but I make sure you're the dad.
Well, the funny thing about it is that there are signs, but when you're going through the process, you usually don't see those signs unless you have people telling you, but you have to be wise enough to also listen to their wisdom, like family members and friends who can see past whoever that person is. And sometimes we do have those people in our lives who can see that and they tell us, but we don't listen to it.
That's right. And that can happen. I mean, I know Larry has said that he just wanted to try marrying someone from a different race.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm done with this race. So I'm just going to find someone. So what they're looking for, or what you may be looking for in a remarriage, is not like marriage reasoning anymore. The reason why you got married in the beginning was, you fell in love, you wanted to grow a life with a person. And sometimes people can take remarriage like they're just trying a new thing.
Yeah.
They're just trying, let me just try something else.
Yeah, I want to do something different than what I did before. So now, I've always had this bucket list of things I wanted to do or people I want to get with or have. So I might marry this type of person this time.
Yeah.
And that's not the reason that you should get married for.
And these occur more frequently than maybe people realize, which could also contribute to why remarriages don't
last long.
Last very well. If people are getting married because, I'm lonely, I want to have some financial security. So this time around when I marry, like, I'm not marrying anyone close to my age. I'm going to marry someone who's more established.
It doesn't make a man feel good to know that he's just being used because he's a man. Yeah. He wants to feel valued. He wants to feel loved. He wants to feel appreciated, just like a woman does,
Yeah, because it happens the other way. I've heard a lot where a guy marries a woman just because, hey, he wants somebody to watch the kids.
He wants to stand in mom. Yeah, he wants to stand in mom.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm not going to be washing their clothes and cooking food and stuff like that for these kids. And so
that he had.
Yeah, so I'll just marry someone who is like a mothering type, and that can cause where she's not receiving any love because he never really loved her at first.
Yeah, that can cause resentment.
Yeah, so there's so many things that happen, and if you find yourself that, hey, I might have remarried this person for the wrong reason, I didn't have time to heal. It's it's okay to admit that. It's okay to say, hey, I may not have done it the right way, but the good thing is you can still recover from that.
Well, transparency is always a good thing in your remarriage.
Yeah.
I think that remarriage definitely needs that type of communication. You need to be open and talk to someone. And so you have to have shared focus and goals as well as your values. Just focus on things that you both want to do together.
Well, I think that was what we were saying, is that you have to rebuild your foundation. So if your foundation was built on, finances, well, he has some money, or, hey, she is a mom and I need a mom, or, hey, we just got together, we got pregnant,
we got hooked up.
So let's get married. We're getting old. What's that song? We might as well get married.
Let's get married?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting older. We might as well just do it. And, maybe that was the situation. But if you're remarried now and you know that you didn't have that like solid foundation of your marriage, you can do like what you said, you can rebuild it. And one of the things is refocusing and kind of restarting.
Well, you're basically getting to know each other for the first time, really.
Yeah, I meant, when I said refocusing, I meant like what you were talking about is aligning your beliefs and aligning your values and aligning things that how are we going to move forward? Because that's really what you want to do. We want to move forward and grow together, yes, and make it as smooth as possible.
Yeah. And working together is the best way to grow in your remarriage.
Yeah. You can also reintroduce like courting and bonding with each other, having set quality time, dating again, doing things that will strengthen your spiritual, physical, emotional intimacy, and begin just charting a new course.
So there's signs that you can tell if you've remarried for the wrong reason. And some of those signs are resentment. You resent the person you married.
Yeah. So if you're saying if you're feeling a lot of resentment,
you can't.
You may
stand
have
them.
to like self-reflect and say, did I marry them for the wrong reason?
Yeah, or things that they do just kind of irritate you, bother you, get on your nerves. You don't like them.
Well, that's just marriage.
Well, it can be, but I'm talking about specifically.
Well, resentment is different than that. Getting on
it's nerves. A little more intense.
Yeah, resentment is like you almost feel like you're missing out, or you just.
Well, not only do you feel like you're missing out, but they made you miss out.
Yeah,
they're making
resentment
you,
is
they're making
deep.
you miss out. Yeah.
And that may be, resentment comes anyway, but if you feel like I might have married the person for the wrong reason, it doesn't necessarily mean you married the wrong person.
It's the reason that was wrong, not that you married the wrong person.
Yeah. And if you feel like your self-worth is tied up in your remarriage, like that identifies you, this is your status, these are all the things, you might have remarried for the wrong reason.
So when you're saying that your self-worth is tied up to the individual, so they're the one.
Well, the status of the marriage, not just dating the individual or being with that person, but it's the entire marriage that is a remarriage is only to lift or improve your self-worth.
That's a lot packed in there.
Yeah, you're just like, it's just embedded there. And if you were not married to this person, you would feel like a different person. You know what I mean? Like your self-worth would change.
But would you feel better or feel worse? Because if you're not married to them and they're the one that you married thinking that they were going to lift you up, pull up your lifestyle, pull up your how you are in society and to people who you call friends,
right?
Then it's like, I guess it's them pulling you up to a level that you weren't at before,
right? Or like we were saying before, the status of it. So all of those things can contribute to feeling like, hey, I might have remarried for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
And people find themselves in that. But like we said before, you can recover from that and you can still build a strong marriage.
Yes. And I like the fact that nothing is just set in stone as far as you can't do this anymore. You can change your remarriage and build it up. It may seem like it's low, but you can actually make it better. There are things that you can do practically to work together.
I think like you could study what arranged marriages do. I think you mentioned that before. It's two people came together for whatever reason. Their parents wanted them together. They, and
they didn't know each other.
There's these, well, sometimes they do know each other.
But let's talk about the ones who didn't know each other.
Yeah, they don't know each other intimately, or they didn't get to pick that connection. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Whatever, if they knew each other, they didn't. They married for the reason that would maybe be a wrong reason to them. I had a girlfriend.
But it's the right reason for their family.
Yeah, I had a girlfriend who was in an arranged marriage, and she rebelled so much. She had good parents because they really worked to find someone.
Because they know her.
Yeah, that was more suitable. They had some older gentlemen, but they found one that was more suitable, close to her age, and they have a great marriage, but they had to work on it. And sometimes when you find yourself in a second marriage, you may feel like it was arranged a little bit or something.
Yeah. We might have to start talking about it like that a little bit.
Yeah, but you can start courting each other, bonding again, like we said, and your remarriage can work.
Yeah. If it's new, which it is, then you are going to have to strengthen those bonds to become a new bond. And I think that sometimes people think that I was married before, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, but you weren't married to that person. You didn't go through those experiences with that person. And so you have to make new bonds that are stronger than any bond you've ever had in your life, because you want to be with this person for the rest of your life.
And hopefully that's why you married.
Exactly.
That's why you got remarried. Not just for a season, this is forever. And to remind yourself of that, and you two getting on the same page, you won't have to worry if at one time you remarried for the wrong reason.
Yeah.